Oh, yeah. I like seeing people that do that. Hello. 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 Hey, y'all. Don't
right.
mess up my mind. I swear
Alice,
that
nope.
was.
They are fine. No, put him down.
He's okay. He's okay. He's a handsome boy.
Bye.
He's a handsome man.
I already started it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
Sorry.
Go enjoy your ramen. Your candy ramen.
Oh my goodness.
What's up, Bessie? I miss
haven't
you.
seen you in. I know.
I know.
haven't seen you in so long.
I have family in town, so I've
Well,
been very.
And it's Christmas. It was Christmas
Yeah.
time, and it's
Yeah,
always
we
such
missed
a
you
hard-
guys also.
Oh my goodness. That's who I miss
Sorry
the
that
mostest.
we didn't record, but we all need a break.
Yeah, I needed a break from Brie.
I needed a break from working.
Ooh, it's really hot and muggy in here now.
It's what?
It's hot and muggy in here.
Then turn it off.
No.
It doesn't bother. It's fine. I'm
My toes are
I'm good either way.
freezing.
I have a Oh my god, then I have an idea. Never mind. Just forget
Look
what
at
I
my
was talking
beautiful
about. I
pillow my daughter
love
got
it.
us.
She got you a Ouija board. Now you have a Ouija board pillow and I have a Ouija board blanket.
And then we can
And
snuggle.
together we can summon the demons.
Yay.
We don't recommend that, guys. We're just
Or do
being
we?
pretend, and I sound like the Grinch.
So happy New Year.
This is
New
our
Year.
podcast.
Yeah. New Year, new me. New Year, new you.
Hashtag New Year, new. I don't know.
Okay, new nothing. Also, if you don't want like a new you because you like who you are or just really tired of trying to change yourself, that's totes okay.
It is.
And just walk into 2023 very quietly. Don't touch nothing.
It's good. Yeah.
Read the reviews before you go in.
Right. Exactly.
Also, Patreon. So sorry. Bree is a little hairy right now.
Yeah, I'm clouded.
She's a little furry. You don't see her for 2 weeks, and this is what happens.
You're so handsome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So
Oh
lovely.
my gosh, he's really sitting down. He's just like, he's fine with where he's at.
Handsome.
Oh, my freaking dog.
This is our True Crime and Paranormal podcast, What's with the Neighbors, and that's Amy.
That is Bree. And,
Happy New Year. We already
Happy
said
New Year.
this.
Yes.
We already went all through this.
So, Bree, I am going to start a new segment with you.
I love new segments.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
So, I want to get to know you a little bit. Like, this is a little awkward.
Are we going to ask each other questions about each other?
I mean,
Do you want to know everything about each other?
I feel
Because we're
like,
best buddies.
Yeah, we've been together for a while now, and I don't know some stuff about you, and I want to know.
I love this. There's a game that you could do this with. It's called what's it called? It's like you find all the dirty details about in the game. You find all the dirty details about someone in the game.
Oh, that's exciting.
It was a game I saw at Fred's today.
Leon, come on, bro.
Yeah, she wants to look into my eyes. All right, if you look into the camera, I can look into your eyes, and it'll be like
There
Inception.
we go. Okay.
Okay. I'm looking into your eyes.
Do you see them?
I do. Oh, you looked away.
Sometimes it looks like a butt crack on the screen.
What?
His fur looks like a butt
I
crack.
thought you were talking about your eyes.
Yes,
See.
I have butt crack eyes, by the way.
Beautiful. No, what's his face on Stranger Things? That's who Josh
know.
calls him. He says he has butt crack eyes. Or butthole eyes.
Butthole eyes.
The big brother.
That's really sad.
Will and what's the other brother's name?
Could you
whatever.
imagine like walking around and you're
He's
like
this. He does look. It kind of does look like a butthole.
like
though.
you're kind of a celebrity, right? And then like people are saying like that dude has butthole eyes.
It's like, whoa.
Like you think that you are untouchable, or maybe you don't. And
Well, look at Adam Sandler.
what about
Some celebrities
him?
just don't give a crap what people
You
think.
know what?
He just, I love that he just like lounges out in his comfies all the time.
Speaking of celebrities, I cannot get enough of the podcast
What's it called again?
Smartless.
Smartless. Okay.
It is so good, and they started it during COVID, and they keep doing it. Like they just came out with an episode like last week or something.
Because they're enjoying the hell out of it, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh, and it is so funny. Like they interviewed Adam Sandler, and they've interviewed like everybody.
And who are the hosts?
Jason Bateman.
Okay, yeah.
My other husband. And which I realized that, like, you know how he is in shows, like, very, like, serious.
Yeah,
like,
but he also has, like, this calming, like...
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, like kind of just calms
aroma.
Yes.
Calming aroma.
He smells very calming.
He smells like lavender.
That's how he is in real life.
Oh,
I love it.
I love it.
And then
I love that guy.
Will... Oh, gosh.
Barnett.
Yeah.
Arnett. Is it Barnett or... I think it's Arnett.
Arnett. Yeah, it's Will Arnett. And then, oh, dang it.
Paul Rudd?
Nope.
No, he was a guest on it.
Wouldn't that be nice? No, he has not been.
No, he's too busy sitting at home eating a bowl of spaghetti with his family, just talking about their day.
And it's like, you know what? Being the hottest man of the year means I can eat my spaghetti whenever I want.
I don't know how it happened, but...
Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for not knowing. But anyways, so that guy, he was in The Hangover.
Zach Galifianakis?
Nope. They interviewed him, though, before. And I don't have my phone, so I can't look it up.
Bradley Cooper?
No, they interviewed him, too, though.
I can't think of the other two guys' names.
He's like a smaller celebrity. He's not that big. He's
Is it
gay.
the doctor? Oh.
No, it wasn't the doctor. He's gay in real life.
Was he the guy who got lost?
Oh, maybe?
Doug?
No, I don't know who Doug is.
Oh, he was the one who got lost. Oh, no. I don't know.
Anyways, but it's really funny because they rag on him, like, all the time. Like, he'll, like, ask people questions, and they're like, gosh dang it, I can't think of his name right now. Can you look it up for me, please?
Yeah. Shit, what's my phone? Oh, here it is.
I'm sorry, it's bugging me.
One more time, what's it called?
Smartless.
Whoa.
Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and... Oh my gosh.
I'm taking way too long.
Yeah, you are.
Sean Hayes.
Okay,
yeah, he is the guy.
Yeah. Okay, so Sean will be like asking their guests like a question, and it'll be like such a like simple question, like, so like what inspired you to go into comedy? And Jason Bateman and Will be like, Jesus, Sean, like, you don't just ask people that, like, just like a rag on him. It's like, you know, he's like the younger brother or something. I absolutely love it. I can't get enough. But they also interview, like, not just celebrities. Like, they interviewed Camille Harris, and the president, and they've interviewed, like, doctors and scientists and stuff like that. So it's really cool. Yeah.
Can I play the I don't have to play it for this. I just want to listen to it real
go
quick
ahead.
for me. Why is it not playing?
I want to look at
My
this.
phone broken? Oh, no, it's just loading.
It's a good one to put on in the background, and you can, like, listen to it or not, you know?
Yeah.
I listen to it at work.
I need a new podcast.
Yeah, this one, and it's not true crime or paranormal. So
yeah.
It's like a...
Job stinks. Just wait until you hear what it was like.
I love his voice.
Oh, that's an ad.
Yeah, it's a trailer for it.
Oh, trailer for their new podcast.
Oh.
Someone else's podcast coming out. But I want to listen to that because it sounds good.
Oh, Wondery.
Yeah, for the Wondery app.
Okay. Yeah, I might have to start this one.
It's so good. I think my favorite person that they've interviewed so far was
Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Did you see the bee? You did.
Yeah.
Fuck that bee lady.
Okay, so back to our podcast.
Yeah. While we're
Speaking of podcasts.
talking up everybody else.
Yeah, they don't need it, dude.
Yeah, but also like that's one cool thing about podcasts is that like we are all kind of there
We're
for each
all
other.
yeah.
I rarely hear a podcast talk shit about another podcast.
I have.
You have? Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't.
But that's because like that one podcast stole, like plagiarized.
Oh, that's that's a big deal.
Yeah. So, Brie, I want to get to know you because
Okay. Anyway, back to what we were originally talking about.
So, and I even put on here, get to know Brie.
Get to know Brie.
So, Brie, when you wake up, what is
God.
the first thing that you do? Do you get coffee, brush your teeth, put clothes on?
I take my
get
thyroid
dressed?
pill.
That's the first thing you do?
Yeah,
The
that's the very first thing I do because I have to take it before I eat.
Like
at
an
least
hour.
an hour, yeah.
My mom takes it in the middle of the night.
Oh.
She when she gets up to go pee. And so she puts it like in a little jar, and when she wakes, like she'll wake up to go pee and like doesn't even realize she's going to the bathroom. Like
And goes and takes it.
she'll go and take it.
What if she I've accidentally taken it twice.
Well, no, so she only puts one in that little jar.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes
and
sense.
so if it's not gone in the morning,
Then
she
she
knows she
knows.
didn't take it.
That's smart.
Yeah.
See, I used to put mine out in little containers, but I have small children who like to get inside my bedside drawer. So.
Have you thought about getting rid of them?
The children?
Yes.
I haven't found anyone that'll take them yet. So.
You know, I think that it's like still legal to like drop them off at a fire
It
department.
is. It is.
Yeah.
They have
But,
a family
like, up
member
to
in
what
town right now who
age?
wants to take one of them. So
You know what? Don't
let her.
don't
She's
give up.
small enough to fit in a suitcase.
Brie, don't give up a good opportunity. You know?
Rehome them. Don't sell them.
Yes. Rehome. Okay. So
What do you do?
I brush my teeth.
You brush your teeth.
Yeah, it's the very first
Very
thing.
first thing.
Yeah.
That's probably like the last thing I do in the morning.
You know, do you okay, so do you brush your teeth before or after breakfast?
After,
I brush it before.
because I feel like I'm re-dirtying them.
You know,
But then I'm re-dirtying them at lunchtime anyway.
yeah, I mean, you could be one of those people that brush your teeth like after every meal.
It also depends. Like if I work, if I have to get up and go to work or whatever,
Yeah.
then like I used to do that. But now
Wake
that
up
I
and brush
stay
your
at
teeth?
home and I watch my children, yeah. But yeah,
It's a habit that I got into, and it's just something that I do when I wake up.
at least it's done.
Unless I'm camping.
Then you don't ever brush your teeth. Just skip it.
No, dog. But
Use the old finger.
no, I'll like have to wait until you walk to the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, do you have a neighborhood story for me? He's in such a bad mood.
Oh,
I don't know why. And he says he's tired. I'm like, I don't think that's why. But he won't tell me why. So it's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'll just avoid him all night. It's fine.
Come over and play board games.
Josh's
All right.
mom makes me nervous.
She's nothing to get nervous about. She's just a lot. She's quiet like Josh. You could tell she's very
Yeah.
reserved like Josh is, but she's really fun.
Oh, good. That's good.
She's a goof. Okay. This is a sign posted in a neighborhood,
Okay.
and it's like an actual sign from like the city, and it says 2021 fireworks allowed. 11 a.m. until 11:45 p.m.
What is it? 220. 21 guns.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
Green
d-
Day. Yeah, Green Day.
I'm so sorry.
I think
That
that's
was
Green Day.
That was very
awful.
rude. Please start over.
It's good. I'm trying. Well, now that you've sang that, I'm trying to think of it. So I'm trying to think of how it goes, and you kind of got it stuck in my head. But now, yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
It
Please
says
start over.
2021 fireworks allowed. 11 a.m. until 11:45 p.m. June 29th to July 4th.
Oh.
Saturday 9 to 4. Sunday. Oh, Saturday September 4th to Sunday September 5th. Labor Day night and Labor Day whatever. And it says state law prohibits igniting fireworks on public streets, sidewalks, and rights of way and at parks, churches, and schools $1,000 fine for all violation includes first violation. So I guess it's like like this is posted in someone's neighborhood, and so so my point is, a lot of people would get fined in our neighborhood if that were a
Yes.
thing, like last night.
Do you? Oh my gosh.
I'm not against fireworks at all, but like in the middle of the week,
Yeah.
like, and
I
it's
meant to
not a
text you
holiday.
about it,
You
but-
did. You did. You said,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry. You apologized to me. And I was like, oh, it's cool.
Yeah. I was like almost asleep.
I was like, it's good.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. Alice came in. She's like, Jesse's freaking out, and I'm like, about what?
I actually hardly even heard them until Charlotte got up and said, Mom, who's setting off fireworks? And I'm like, geez, who are you? The fireworks police? She's like, I'm trying to sleep. And I'm like, whatever. You just want an
absolutely love
excuse.
that.
She just wanted an excuse to come out of bed and
But
talk.
also, that's really cool. She's gonna be such a Karen.
She's like the neighborhood watch. It's my girl.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you a story about Ronald DeFeo. And there's gonna be a surprise, everybody.
Yeah.
But I'm
Sorry.
not gonna tell you what it is until Brie talks.
Okay. She's going to interrupt me and tell everybody.
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna be
She's
in the
waiting
middle
for
of
me
the
to
story.
start, and she's like,
Yeah,
It's
and
a
then,
surprise.
but actually, you know what she's gonna do is, like every once in a while, she'll say like a random word, and then you're going to have to write those words down, and then it's gonna be like a clue type of thing. Like eventually you have to like decipher all the words that she wrote. You're gonna eventually like have to decipher like all the words that she wrote, and like figure out what the sentence, which is the clue, is. So, you're welcome.
Do you know why I just did that in the microphone? So you'd have to cut that whole thing out.
Why? It was really funny.
Because- Poor people. That was really rude. Sorry.
Have you looked in the mirror lately? Because you're beautiful.
You're beautiful.
So I'm going to talk to you about Ronald, a.k.a.
McDonald.
Ronnie.
Sorry.
DeFeo Jr., by the way. He shot his parents with a .35 caliber gun.
Whoa, we just dived right in there.
Welcome to the show, baby. He shot. Yes, I dive right in because we don't have time to mess around. He shot his parents with a .35 caliber gun. Then went to his brothers, Mark, 11-year-old brothers, Mark and John, 9-year-old. Let me start over. Okay, I'm going to tell you about Ronnie DeFeo Jr. He shot his parents with a .35 caliber gun. Then went to his brothers, Mark, 11, and John, 9-year-old. Why? I'm still doing that. It's because that's how I wrote it. Then went to his brother's room, Mark, 11-year-old, and John, 9-year-old, and shot both of them. Then he walked over to his 13-year-old sister, Allison's room, and shot her in her bed. Then went to the third floor of the house and shot his sister, Dawn, who was 18 years old.
Ugh.
Every victim was laying on their stomach, face down, with their arms stretched out.
In the bed.
In the bed, yeah. So autopsy reports showed no signs of sedatives in the system, no signs of escaping or even leaving their beds. And when Ronnie was arrested for the murders, he said voices in his head told him to do it.
Okay.
So here are the facts. 6 people were murdered in the Amity Amityville home. 23-year-old Ronnie was the only survivor. He was a known drug addict. He was into heroin and LSD.
Okay.
He had a few hobbies, some of which were guns, drinking, and getting into fights.
Cool.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's like my
Badass.
first boyfriend, you know. He's fine, Mom. I'm just kidding, Mother. Anyways, so when he wasn't enjoying one of his pastimes, he worked at the family's super successful Buick dealership with Ronnie Sr., his dad. around Wednesday, November 13th, 1974.
Did they own it?
Yes,
Okay.
they
Oh,
did.
family. You
Yeah.
said family.
Around Wednesday, November 13th, 1974, at 6:30 p.m., Ronnie walked into the local bar called Henry's and yelled, "You gotta help me. I think my parents have been shot." So a small group of friends went back with him to Ocean Avenue. There's a place called
That's
Ocean Avenue.
All week stuck in my head.
Alice is super into that type of music right now.
That's amazing. That
And
makes me so happy. The snap that you sent me, I was like, she's not even my child, and I couldn't be more proud.
So that's on her
Hashtag
playlist.
emo phase.
Yeah. They went back with him to Ocean Avenue where the house was. On one friend called 911 and the other called the grandfather. When the grandfather got there, there were already 20 officers on the scene, but not the homicide detective. The grandfather asked to call someone, but when he noticed an officer was watching who he was dialing, he hung up and said it was the wrong number.
Wait, what?
So, like, he went to, it was like a rotary phone.
Okay,
Rotary phone. And so he's, like, dialing the number and, like, picks it up because he, like, is about to talk. And he, like, looks over and an officer's just, like, watching him. And so he hangs up.
And that's the grandpa?
That's the grandpa.
Okay.
I don't know if it's on the mom's side or the dad's side.
Okay.
But later, the call record showed he called his brother, Pete DeFeo, who was actually a mobster who worked for the Genovine crime family in New York City.
Okay.
So, however, the brother, Pete, was never considered a suspect.
That's a little weird that he did that, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, that was his other son?
No,
Or that was his brother?
that's the grandpa's brother.
So, like, one of their uncles or one of the parents'
One of the parents' uncles. Yeah.
Okay. I'm really impressed right now.
Thank you.
Did you put that there for that?
No. I was like, I don't want to get
Work
up.
smarter, not harder.
Absolutely.
Use your surroundings. You would be great in survival.
Thank you. So, police set up a temporary headquarters at the neighbor's house, and that's where they first questioned Ronnie. When they first asked Ronnie what happened, he told the police that it was a mafia hit. And he even gave a name of a low-level mafia member. However, the guy had an alibi out of state.
Okay.
Then he blamed his sister Dawn. And then suddenly
Who was dead?
Yeah, he was like, Dawn killed everybody. And the grandpa came in and stepped in and he was like, whoa, stop dragging the family name through the mud. Stop blaming your sister. And just confess to these murders that you did it. And which was like kind of weird that the grandpa, I mean, maybe he was
like
mad.
He didn't back him up at all.
No, but I mean, maybe because he was mad. I mean, his child's family is dead, so I could understand why you would be mad about that. But also, like, you just immediately blame him,
right?
So, I don't know, a tough situation to be in. A day later, Ronnie finally confessed. He said once he started, he couldn't stop. After the murders, he changed his clothes and dumped the gun down by the dock near the boathouse. Then he went to work. After his shift, he got high, visited his girlfriend, and after he did all that, he went to the bar to raise the alarm that his family was dead. So, family and friends and neighbors knew. Everyone was aware of how angry Ronnie Sr., the dad, was towards his family. He was verbally abusive to them, but he would take out his anger physically on Ronnie.
Okay.
And a doctor at the prison that did an exam on him 2 days after the murders discovered 4 to 7 day old bruises on his stomach, legs, and aberrations on his back. So they assumed that it was from
beatings
from his dad. Yeah. So, those are the facts.
How old was Ronnie?
Dog, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
Sorry.
remember.
Okay. I think you said it earlier, so you're fine.
I want to say he was like in his 20s.
Okay.
I just can't remember. I actually didn't look it up.
I think that would make sense.
Ew. Dude, someone needs to come in and give my cats a grooming.
I need to clean my cat too.
Oh my gosh. Do you?
That's not what I meant. But anyway. Whoa.
You know, you only... It's only because you started laughing. So, those are the facts. Now, here are a few contradicting facts. Decades later, Ronnie told a psychiatrist that he had turned up the thermostat to throw off the time of death, making their time of death inaccurate. I don't know, maybe to throw off like where he was. I don't know why he would choose to do that.
Like to make them like decay fast or like
Yes.
get older faster, grosser
Yes.
faster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, decay
that would
or-
be really smart if he did that.
Yeah.
Because
it just-
temperature makes a huge difference.
No, it definitely does.
And when was it? November? And it was
It
in
was
New
in
York?
November, yeah.
So, like, yeah.
I get that, but it's still just weird.
Yeah.
So, unless he was like trying to make it so that it looked like they died while he was at work, giving him an alibi,
Yeah, okay.
that would be like the only understanding of like why, because they died in the early morning.
Right.
So, I don't know. The medical examiner, however, determined that they died around 3:15, but Ronnie claimed that they died around 1:15 a.m.
How would he know? Oh, okay, because he did it.
He said
Yeah.
that he did it. Yeah. So Ronnie also said the reason why no one woke up while he killed each member was because he gave all of them a sedative. However, like I said,
There were nothing.
the ME didn't find anything in their system at all, like not even alcohol or anything.
Gotcha.
During prep for the trial, the prosecutors did a test on the gun to see how loud it was. The gun could be heard for over 5 blocks away with the gun, like the same exact gun that he used.
So why didn't the neighbors say anything?
Yes, but according to the neighbors, they didn't hear anything, but they could hear the dog barking in the yard next door. So you could hear the dog barking, but not a gun.
They had a dog. It was their dog.
I don't know if it was their dog, but
Okay.
a dog in the
Gotcha.
like neighboring. In 1974, the abuse from Ronnie Sr. got so bad that the kids stopped allowing friends to come over to and visit. And according to Dawn's boyfriend, she was so desperate to leave the family, and she was so desperate to leave the family that she was going to go live with him. Dawn also was known to have an anger and drug problem as well.
Oh.
And interesting enough, Dawn had unburned gunpowder on the front of her nightgown.
What's that mean?
Meaning it was like gunpowder,
That
but it
wasn't used.
wasn't used, yeah. Which could have been a result to her murder. Like maybe like he leaned over and like some of it fell out of the barrel before
Okay.
he shot her. But how did it get in the front of her gown?
Right, if she was face down.
Yep.
But like, how come they couldn't tell? Like, what if they shot them in the stomach and he just flipped them all over? Like, because he's like a sick person and just flipped them all over in the same position. Like, how could they? Like, was that able to be? Is that something that's able to be told? Like, they could tell that they were for sure killed in that position.
That's according to what the investigator said.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking
Well, I
about,
guess like blood stains and stuff like
yeah,
that
that's
too.
what I was
I'm
thinking, like, if he
Dexter.
yeah, if they shot him, if like someone's on the bed and you shot them point blank and then quickly flip them over, there would still be some sort of blood.
Oh, and bullet damage if it went all the way
Mhm.
through. So
Yeah.
yeah, okay, never mind. I just answered that myself.
Good job, Bree. Where was I? So, some believe that Dawn worked with Ronnie before he shot her, or she shot the family and Ronnie found out and he turned the gun on her. And this multiple shooter theory was brought in by a private investigator that worked for the defense team. He pointed out that the second bullet removed from his mother did not go to the rifle Ronnie used for the killing. So they're like, there's a second gun.
Okay.
So Ronnie had directed police to a pillow that so Ronnie had directed police to a pillowcase he dumped in a sewer drain in Brooklyn, which was full of clothes, rifle cartridges, and a holster for a rifle and a holster for a handgun.
Okay.
Why would there be a handgun
Right.
if he only used a rifle?
Right.
The investigators assumed that the handgun could have been dumped near the boathouse where the other pillowcase with the similar items was originally found. So the investigator hired a dive team in 2012, and they found what could
2012.
Yeah, dog.
Wow.
They found what could possibly be a piece to the handgun. Like, they took out this, like, it
Like a chunk of soot.
basically,
Like it somehow found that.
but it was like the shape of a handgun.
Wow.
But like obviously it had pieces missing.
Right.
So, and it was just like, it looks like a piece of charcoal is what it looked
Okay.
like, but shaped
Interesting.
into a handgun.
That's crazy what they could find out even years later.
know. You know, I think, anyways.
You know, if some of you serial killers committed murders now, you would be screwed. Just saying.
Absolutely. So another thing, Mark, the 11-year-old brother, was in a wheelchair at the time due to a football injury.
Okay.
So he was required to sleep on his back because he had some back issues
So
with
why was
the
he
injury.
on his stomach?
So if he was on his stomach, why was he sleeping on his stomach?
yeah. And it's just weird that everybody would roll over to their stomach unless someone like held them down.
Yes, exactly.
But wouldn't they find like bruises on them? Sorry, I'm
No.
getting ahead of you.
What bruises on what?
Like, because clearly, like, if gunshots were heard, they had to have been heard in the house. So everybody had to have known what was going on. But like,
Oh, you're talking if someone
if
was holding
somebody
them
was,
down.
if it was more than a one person job, wouldn't there be like bruises on them from like force of being held down?
Right, I
Because
understand what
you
you're
would
saying.
try to fight someone big time to get up.
Would I? I'm like, thank goodness.
I sure as hell hope so.
Time. It is finally
'Cause
time.
I would run over here and I would come beat up someone if they tried to do something.
I wonder if we could hear. I guess like if
We
you're
couldn't 'cause of snow.
inside the house.
We could not.
But if you're like inside, let's say you're in my bedroom, which is like the furthest away, and someone shot a rifle in my room. Do you think that you could hear it inside your house
No.
that far down? I don't think so
No,
either.
definitely not. I don't even think next door would hear it that well
I don't think
because
so
of
either.
the snow. In
Yeah.
the summertime, maybe. The next door would hear
Inside
it.
the house, like with all the insulation and stuff.
I think next door might hear it. But not. Because, I mean, think about how loud a gunshot is. Think about how loud
mean,
fireworks are. You can hear
you're
it right outside.
right.
You can hear it through your house.
Okay, that's a good point because a gunshot's about the same.
Although
sound.
I could hear that firework. It was coming over from your side, by
Yeah.
the way. Like right now.
Yeah, it
it
was
was
right
coming
next
from
door.
next door.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could hear that last night.
But okay, you have TV on.
If you're not paying attention, yeah. The
It
snow
is-
cushions a lot.
It
in the
really
wintertime.
does.
And then, yeah, like you said, the houses are more insulated here.
Yeah.
They're like double. My dad said they're built differently here. I can't remember what he said. How
We're
they're
built different.
We're built different. Yeah.
Anyways, so I think about that. Like, so basically, just don't get murdered. Okay?
Yeah, yeah. So one day I'm gonna get us friendship lamps to where if something happens in my house, I'm gonna go to run to my friendship lamp and I'm gonna do like Morse code on it.
Okay, but like, can we still use it to like, just like, oh, she's thinking. of me.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Like if you do.
But
tap,
if I
tap,
start
tap, tap,
tapping,
tap,
like-
tap, tap,
tap 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 tap.
Oh, great! Now I
Tap.
have to learn Morse code. She's giving me more homework, everybody.
You're like, oh crap, what does that one mean? We have so many codes.
Like, hold on.
Let me get the
hold on,
book out.
murders.
I gotta go find the book.
I gotta write this down.
Let me Google it. Do I need to call 911?
I write back to I need to call 911.
Just have this long argument about like, no, don't call 911. Just come over. I think someone might be in my house. Oh, it's just my cat. Okay, anyway.
So the PI claims that he believes Ron Sr. and Don were shot somewhere else, then brought to the beds after they died. And I don't know how he determined that. I cannot remember.
Okay. You know, not going to question, not going to ask, but, you know, there's a lot of things out there for it, clearly. Or a lot of
Yes. Yes. Thank
a
you.
web of
lies.
ideas.
And even the ME, the medical examiner, agreed the theory of the second shooter. And even the prosecutor was like, yeah, I think there was a second shooter.
I mean, it makes sense.
But I'm not going to look into it.
Yeah. Like, don't
Because
you
we
guys
got
want
the
to
guy.
know?
He already confessed. Case closed.
And then, like, the family, like, I guess they're all sorry, but they're all dead. So I guess there's no one to really want justice.
I mean, the grandpa?
Yeah.
The mobster grandpa?
Yeah. Who seems a little suspicious in my
I
opinion.
think it was a grandpa. So even though Ronnie never changed his story for being the only shooter, it did change in other ways. Oh, I'm sorry. He did claim that his sister did it, but he never said how.
Okay.
But his story was not consistent also. So almost a year later, after the deaths, the trial started on October 14th, 1975. And it lasted 7 weeks, and in November 1975, a jury found Ronnie guilty of 6 counts of second-degree murder for 25 years to life.
All right.
So let's talk about the mafia theory.
All right, let's talk about it.
So in 1986, Ronnie did an interview and claimed his sister, Dawn, was the shooter. But he took the blame because he was afraid his grandfather and the mobster great uncle would have killed him.
That's what I was thinking too, especially how stern
yeah.
the grandpa clearly was, or how aggressive he was about it. Like, you
Yeah.
did it, admit to it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, you're gonna kill me if I don't admit to it.
Yeah.
And then there's probably people in jail that could have killed him. Because
right.
the mob
The
has
mob.
people everywhere. All the mobs do.
Even the mob here.
Yep. What?
We're the mobster.
Oh, yeah.
The mobster mom.
Mobster. She did the mobster? Sorry.
Okay. So, and Ronnie claimed he was married with a baby. And the only reason why he was in the house at the time was because his mother called him to come over to the house to break up a fight between his dad and Dawn.
Okay.
And Ronnie even claimed he had an alibi, his brother-in-law, Richard. But
He had a brother-in-law?
that didn't stick because he doesn't have a brother-in-law.
Oh, okay. Why'd she live at home?
Well,
why did he live at home?
No. He, at this time, he's claiming that he didn't live at home.
Right. I was wondering why if she said that she was married, or he's saying that she was married. What?
I was singing. Sorry. I just had this sudden urge to sing.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was wondering why if he was saying that he had a brother-in-law, that would mean she was married. And why was she at home? Is what I'm saying.
Dawn,
so that's not a very
Dawn.
good lie. Yeah.
Not her. She had a boyfriend.
Okay. Oh, yeah. You said that. Okay.
This is his Geraldine is his girlfriend.
Is her boyfriend? Oh, his girlfriend.
Ronnie's girlfriend.
Okay. Because you said he had a kid.
Yes.
He said he had a kid.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Sorry.
because Geraldine didn't have a brother named Richard. So this is her brother.
Oh. Okay.
I just let you talk that through.
Sorry. That
Instead of
makes so
interrupting
much more
you.
sense. I was like, what?
She didn't have a brother, and the fact that they were even married is questionable as well. The two met in Okay, hold on. Just ride this wave with me,
yep,
okay? Because it's gonna be super
no
confusing.
questions. Wait till the end. Got it.
Yeah, shut your pie hole.
Got it.
So the two met in 1969, and they did get married in 1970.
Oh.
And their daughter was born in 1974. But if you check the divorce papers dated 1993, because they got divorced in 1993, they met in 1985, according to the paperwork, and then married in 1989.
After he was already in jail?
Correct.
Okay. And he has a daughter from that? What are y'all prison guards
Well, I
doing?
mean, you can. Okay.
How old's
so,
the daughter? That's what I'm wondering.
So, this is what they're claiming, right? However, the mystery was on purpose between Geraldine and Ronnie. They planned this out on purpose. This is the mafia theory, okay?
Okay.
Geraldine had family in the mafia Lombardi, crime family. And when they heard the cops were looking into a female accomplice, she said Ronnie's great uncle Pete and her family made those court documents disappear. So the marriage in 1989 was actually their second marriage ceremony, and Geraldine ended up dying in 1995, so she can't confirm any of this.
How convenient. How did she die? Do you know?
No.
I wonder how she died.
The main thought in this is,
Because that's young.
how old is the baby?
Right. Yes, exactly. That's was my thing. Like, because if the baby's however old,
Yeah.
then it happened before.
I don't know how old the baby is. I didn't look
How
into
do they
it.
not research or get into this more? Anyway, I'm sure
Because
they
they
did.
already had the killer. They already had the killer. So why look at?
But you
why
could be
look
convicting
harder?
an innocent person or a partially innocent person. You could be letting another killer out on the loose.
Yeah. Or is she already dead?
Or, yeah, is she already dead?
So here's the insanity theory. In 1990, Ronnie filed a 40-40, which is asking for his conviction to be overturned or vacated. The typical grounds for a 40-40 motion means insufficient counsel, meaning that they didn't give him justice. They didn't work hard enough to prove his innocence. Bringing us to the claim that the voices made him do it. So when Ronnie was first arrested, his mother's father hired a PI. So I'm guessing it might have been the grandpa might have been on his mom's side, and hired a private So when Ronnie was first arrested, his mother's father hired a PI and a private lawyer, Jacob Siegfried. And Jacob was the first to suggest an insanity defense, but Ronnie was actually the one to think of the idea. So, like, Jacob's like, you should do this, but Ronnie's like, it was actually my idea.
I already thought of this.
The family's money eventually ran out, and Ronnie had to go with the court-appointed attorney William Weber. And so that's why he said he didn't get, insufficient. That's why he got an insufficient counsel.
Okay.
Because he was. And William was like, just take the plea deal. And William was the only one that ultimately brokered the deal for the Amityville Horror book and movie.
Okay.
Ronnie told William the night of the deaths he fell asleep on the family's couch to a war movie. When he woke up, the lights were off, but he thought he heard his family talking, conspiring against him. And then a woman with black hands and white arms, no, I'm just kidding, with black hands, I'm guessing like gloves,
Yeah.
came into the room holding a rifle and kicked him. He thought it was his sister Dawn, and which goes back to the theory his sister made him do it. However, he said there was also a mystery murderer. He didn't know who it was and claimed his wife's brother was there to vouch for him, but there's no brother.
Okay.
So they can't vouch for him.
Okay.
Which brings us to the theory of insanity. Like, this whole, like, his family conspiring against him, this girl that came in and kicked him and made him kill his family, but there's also another murderer and it's not his sister. Kind of like all over the place. But that 40-40 motion that he filed, the judge denied. So, whatever. During his parole hearing in 1999, Ronnie said he was down in a basement with a friend. They heard muffled voices, then a gunshot. When they ran upstairs, they saw his sister, Allison, dead in her bed. And when they got to the third floor, Dawn's room, they saw Dawn, and she said, "Oh my gosh, Ronnie, you're not supposed to be here." And she grabbed the rifle and aimed it at him, but he grabbed the gun and shot her in self-defense.
Okay.
He also told the parole board that he had no idea who killed his parents because he only heard the one gunshot before he went upstairs. Maybe they also lived in the snow.
Yeah.
In the year 2000, Ronnie wrote a letter to the author Rick Ozina of the book The Night of the DeFeos, The Night of the DeFeos, The Night the DeFeos Died.
Okay.
I wish I could have had time to read that book because it sounds really interesting. Which is an in-depth look with investigation and interviews of the night of the murders. And the letter explains that Ronnie and his sister Dawn were... The letter that he wrote to that author explains that Ronnie was with his sister Dawn and two other friends, and they were down in the basement getting high because she liked to do drugs also. That is where they hatched this plan to kill the dad because he was abusive. So around 1 a.m., they went to their parents' room. Dawn and Ronnie had the handgun, a gold python, and one friend had the rifle and the other was a lookout. Ronnie first shot his dad in bed, but the first shot didn't kill him, so when the dad started to come after him, he shot him again. Then he shot his mother once, and a friend shot her the second time, killing her. That's why there would be a second bullet, the handgun.
Right. Okay.
Bullet. Then one of the friends fled the house, and Ronnie went after them to stop them. Like, wait, you can't just leave.
Yeah. Right.
And again, this is from that letter. While Ronnie was chasing after the friend, that is when Dawn took the rifle and shot the rest of the family members. And when Ronnie came back to the house, he was so mad at Dawn for what she did. Ronnie claimed he never planned to kill Dawn, but when she pointed the gun at him, they wrestled for the gun and he ended up shooting her. Those are all my theories. So, on March 12th, just last year, 2021, Ronnie died in prison at 69 years old, and he spent 47 years there. And he changed his story plenty of times, so we will probably never know the entire truth of the Amityville house murders. And before Ronnie died, he gave his psychiatrist, his BFF, power of attorney and asked him not to be buried with the rest of the family. Isn't that weird?
I mean, it kind of shows you what could have possibly been going on in the family.
I don't know.
No one will. No one will know. That's crazy.
So, I mean, there was a lot of different theories, and there was so much more information out there, but I had to...
Did you happen to see if there was anything strange about Dawn, where she was?
No.
Because that one sounds like the most logical, in my
Where
opinion.
she was?
The last one that
What
you
do you
just
mean?
said. Like, because you said he wrestled her for the gun, or he claimed that he wrestled her for the gun. So, like, but she was laying in her bed face down like all the rest.
But that PI claimed that she was drugged to her bed.
She was, okay. So I missed that. So that would make sense.
Yeah.
I feel like that one is probably...
I agree.
That one, or...
Or what, Brie?
Or maybe something
again,
else.
And that's our show.
Can you see me?
But before, real quick, Brie, before we move forward, I would like to thank everyone for being a part of, for allowing us to be part of your day and spending like an hour or so with us. And if you like us, hit that subscribe button on any of your streaming platforms. And you can also find us on YouTube. And if you love us, for only $5 a month, you can get us, all of us, with our episodes filmed and unedited.
Is that all of it?
Yeah.
Pretty much? Okay. I was just finding it to pull it up.
No, dog.
Because I forgot to.
I actually wrote it out.
carry it
I
out.
thought of a really cute thing.
Oh, cute. Also, thank you to our new Patreon donor.
Yeah.
We have a new
thank you.
Patreon donor. Thank you.
Oh yeah, this episode is dedicated to Nicholas.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick.
Welcome
Nick,
to
Nick.
Patreon. You
Nick,
get to
Nick,
see
Nick,
us make
Nick,
fun.
Nick, Nick.
Nicholas. Nick.
I also want to. I forgot to do this earlier. I want to give a shout out to a new listener of ours. Also,
Okay.
her name is Jessica with one S.
With one S. Whoa.
Yeah.
Jessica.
Look at Jessica.
We can't because we don't know what you look like.
She's my coworker. I told her about the podcast today.
Oh,
She
okay.
like freaked out.
Oh,
She was
snap.
she was telling me about what type of shows she likes to watch, and she's like, I love watching like Ghost Hunters and and then like I love watching true crime and blah blah blah. And I was like,
Oh, man, we are right up
"Dog."
your alley, Jessica. Thanks for
She
listening.
didn't believe me. She was like, wait, like you're actually like you're on Spotify? And I was like, yeah, dude. She was
Yeah.
like, I'm talking to a famous person.
Do y'all know you don't have to be famous to get on Spotify? Like, I thought so too before we started doing this, but like, you don't have to be famous to be on Spotify.
Or maybe
so.
you do.
Or maybe-
you do. Actually, it's really hard.
We're super famous. High five.
Oh.
Big high five. Sorry.
Yeah,
it was way
really
too hard.
hurt. You like slapped my chest, dog.
Sorry.
All right, go ahead. So, what do you mean? What do you mean another theory, Brie?
Well, do you want to yell surprise?
Surprise!
Surprise! So, to start off the new year, Amy and I are piggybacking off of each other's stories.
This is not going to happen every week, by the way.
No, it's not. Totally not. Because not all stories like do this.
But this is something that we've both been wanting to do
Yeah,
for a while.
for like the
and this-
longest time.
Yeah, and this is a really good story to
Yeah.
do that on.
So I'm going to do the Amityville Horror House. And like when I was researching it, I was like, there's way too much information with this. I'm going to leave way too much out because I don't need this. This is way too good of a story to pass up. We're going to do this finally. And I texted Amy and she's like, cool, I'll look it up. And I'm like, do you have enough stuff to look up? She's like, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got 17 pages.
And Bree was
Front
like,
and back.
really front and back.
See?
Yeah.
And
thank you.
yeah.
And thank you for giving me an idea for this week.
You're welcome, buddy.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Let's start this new podcast year up
Together.
with great positive,
With
spooky, dark
hands-
energy
fingers linked.
and toes. All right, that's gross.
I would hold your toes.
Oh, thank you. My own husband won't do that. You're such a good friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so since Amy did the true crime story of the DeFeo murders, I'm going to cover the Amityville Horror House where the murders happened. Because we all know, like, there's so much more to this story. Like, there's a lot before it.
I feel like there was so much that I couldn't even cover.
Yeah, like the whole fact that like he thought he was being possessed.
Correct.
So, that's basically what I'm going to cover. So,
oh, good. I'm glad I didn't go too much.
no,
into
yeah,
that
I'm
then.
glad you didn't, because I didn't get into it super big. Because
Brie also
you
didn't
kind of
do any of her work.
you
so.
well, I did it, and then I erased it all today, and I'm like, well, she's probably going to talk about all this, because the
Can
only
you Control Z it?
I don't know what's Control Z.
Like it's like a
No.
back button for things you type.
Yeah, I probably could, but I typed it like 3 days ago, so.
Whatever.
Let's talk about the Amityville Horror House
Okay,
first.
I'm sorry.
Because that's one thing you didn't mention, which is great because I get to
It's on
talk about
Ocean
it.
Avenue.
It is on Ocean
I wonder if it was
Avenue,
yellow.
which legit, that is the song I've been singing all week. And I was like, I wonder if that song was about this house. And I looked at the lyrics. It totally wasn't.
It's not. Oh, I'm sorry.
I wish it was.
Wouldn't that be
It
so
would have been
cool
much
if it
a
was?
way happier story.
Yeah.
The home is super gorgeous. It was a Dutch colonial home built in 1927. It had 5 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, a heated pool with a slide.
A heated pool
With a slide. I didn't even have that in here, but I saw
I'm-
it when in the documentary that I was watching today, and I was like, oh shit, they got a slide.
Okay, but you are excited about the slide, and I am excited about the heated pool.
I mean,
Like,
it's pretty great. But they were also on the water too. They were on the canal. They had a
shut the
boathouse,
front door.
and it was located in it is located in Long Island, right off the Long Island Sound, which I believe they also called it like the Amityville Bay or canoe or canal or something. But it's at
Okay.
112 Ocean Avenue, Amityville, New York. But now I'll talk about that later. Anyway. Along with its colorful history, we already know, as Amy told you, I did see that the property was also used for, and I don't know if this is true, so don't. I just saw this was like a last fact that I saw
okay.
today.
Okay.
But apparently, the property was used for an insane asylum for Native Americans who were sick and dying, and some psychics. And also, some psychics who were on the property believed that a warlock was there, like a dark warlock was there in like the 1920s. So
Whoa.
I don't know. There's a
Um,
lot of dark
Can
energy
you,
there.
For the listeners, because I know what it is,
Blah,
but
blah,
maybe the
blah blah. Sorry, I was making sure my sound's good. What?
maybe our listeners don't know, because I definitely know what it is. What is a warlock, Brie?
A wizard,
I knew that.
like someone who practices magic.
in the 1920s,
yeah, I
someone
mean,
that
it could've been-
practices magic.
Yeah, someone who
so
was
it'd be
like,
like a witch, a witch,
a
but
witch or
a
well, warlock
male.
would be a male. Yeah, a wizard.
Okay.
Oh, you're a wizard, Harry. Also, did I tell you guys what Amy got me for my birthday? She got me a Harry Potter wand, like a legit.
How's that going?
It's going great, but I haven't had a chance to use it that much because I've been so busy.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah, and you
After
don't,
tomorrow, I'll have
and
more of
you
a chance.
can't like let the Muggles know.
Sorry,
You know,
guys.
like your Muggle.
I've been
mother-in-law.
practicing my spells though.
Oh, good.
I have been. I've been very. My mother-in-law is.
She knows.
Oh yeah, I was showing her and I was like, look at this. I was like, Lumos, and she was like, that puts out like no light, and I was like, but I can see in the dark. It's like with this tiny little orb of light.
And once you get that the light figured out, you can use that too.
Yeah. I just want to use the app.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait for it. It's amazing. Anyway, I just want to tell you guys how amazing Amy is. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Okay,
I'm
so
really excited for this.
that's a little weird that there's a little bit of possible past history on this property. As you know, it was here on November 13th, 1974. Ronald DeFeo Jr., also known
Wait a
as...
second. You got me another year of true crime thing too. You got me the book.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So I have it at home and at work.
Oh, yeah. The book... What is that? Is that like a daily like thing
yeah,
about...
it's the same thing.
Oh, so it's like a new thing every day. But I don't think they're the same thing. Are they? Are they the same thing? Are they the same pages every day?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't match. I didn't.
Oh, okay.
But
The other thing is just what happened in this day in history. Is that what that is too?
yeah, a year of true crime. I don't know if it's. I don't know. I don't know if it happened like that day.
Yeah, I didn't know. I don't know if it's stuff that happened on that day. Does it say on this day?
I'm looking.
I thought it was just a new like true crime fact every day.
True crime terms. No, so this is like okay. So like
Stuff about true crime.
yeah.
And, like,
so like solitary confinement. Like it tells you what's solitary confinement. So no, it's not the same.
I'm informing you.
But look at all this education you're giving me.
Look
Thank
at that.
you.
Handy for work and other work.
I'm sorry. Did you say solitary confinement? I know what that is.
I don't. Well, I do know what that is because I watched Orange is the New Black.
Yeah. Oh. Same.
the hole or whatever.
Okay, sorry, go ahead. The
Okay.
shoe.
The shoe, yes. All right. As you know, it was here on November 13th, 1974, that Ronald DeFeo Jr., also known as Butch, some people called him, at just 23
Yes.
years old, shot and killed 6 members of his family with a .35 caliber rifle while they slept. The victims being his parents, and I feel the need to say this again because it's people who died and it's sad.
Yes.
The victims being his parents, Luis and Ronald DeFeo Sr., sisters 18-year-old Dawn, 13-year-old Alice, and brothers 12-year-old Mark and 9-year-old John Matthew.
I thought it was Allison. Or I guess Alice could be short for
Did
Allison.
I say Alice?
Yeah.
Oh, I meant to say Allison.
It's fine.
My bad. I love your child.
Struck a chord with me.
Sorry, I love your child so much. So now that you know the different stories and the theories on the true crime aspect, I wanted to talk about the aftermath of the home.
Okay.
So no one actually knows what went down, but an odd thing that I've lingered over, which I've let you know in this
Right.
case, and everybody has, is that everybody was face down in the bed as if none of them had been woken up by the sounds of gunfire, 9 shots being heard in the house,
Right.
and they weren't drugged. Almost like he had some help or something supernatural forced them down or silenced the gun to keep them all in some kind of trance or whatever
But if
kind of
someone
state
was
like that.
If someone was forcing them down, like you mentioned before,
The
they
bruises,
would have the
yeah, and
bruises.
that's what I because I like if he says
Maybe they
that
don't
he-
bruise easy.
maybe, but you know
The whole
they're like the
family.
whole family.
They
yeah,
have great iron.
yeah, they're great, fantastic. They eat their spinach. Popeye, he was big then. Who knows? So after this tragic event, what happened? The home sat empty for almost a year until newlyweds George and Kathy Lutz bought the home. Kathy, previously divorced with 3 kids, married George in July of 1975. He was a Marine. He didn't have any kids, but he, from what I watched on the documentary, was a jerk. So,
Oh, didn't they?
according to the oldest son, he was a complete jerk
Oh no.
and terrible. But
yeah.
it
Do you
wasn't
mention how
portrayed in
much-
anything else.
Do you
that way.
mention how much they bought the house for?
Yes. They decided the house was purchased on December 18th in 1975 for just I thought it was 60,000.
I thought it was 80.
Okay, 80 that's what I have it in here as.
Okay.
$80,000, which is now $442,692 today. You did it too. Yeah. And they moved in with 3 kids, Daniel at age 9, Christopher at age 7, and Melissa or Missy at age 5. And of course, the family dog, Harry.
That's creepy that his name is Harry.
I know. I was like, he's Harry. Like, clever.
I was thinking the bar for a second, its name was Harry's, but it's
oh,
Henry's.
yeah, that's weird. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. At first, I was like, "Whoa, that's weird."
I also thought it was weird that you said that there was a dog in it that barked, which I did remember seeing at some point, and I was like, did they have
I
a
never
dog?
verified if it was their dog
Okay.
or if it was like a neighboring
But
dog.
still, the dog was disturbed.
Yeah.
Due to its known reputation, this was disclosed to the family. Everybody knew about it. But it was disclosed to the family at first inspection. And I guess, like, I was watching a documentary on Hulu, or
Mhm.
that was put out by Hulu, called My Amityville Horror, and it was the oldest
Oh.
son. It just happened like a year or two ago.
I started watching that.
It's he's traumatized.
yeah.
That guy, I feel so bad for him, but he hated his stepdad and he made him sound like a
blame him.
monster. But he had said that his mom just took him outside and she was like, yeah, so murders just happened here like a year ago. And they were like young kids. He was 7 and his
Why
brother's
would
like
she say
5 or whatever. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. But he's like, how are a 7 and a 5-year-old supposed to like process
comprehend
that?
Like a 5-year-old probably
Like
doesn't
they
even
don't know
what
that.
murder
Like,
is.
okay, that's cool. That's fine. People died here. That's cool. Whatever. But they decided it wasn't a problem. And also was like
They might have just been excited to get a big house.
it was way out of their budget
Yeah.
though. Way out of their budget.
I mean, those kids were probably like, a slide in
Yeah.
a pool,
They're like, my own bedroom?
my own
A
bedroom?
guest bedroom?
Yeah.
3 of them? 2 of
Yeah.
them?
I could understand why they were probably like, that's fine.
Yeah, they had looked at like 50 different houses before this one, so they were
Jeez.
like desperate. So, with what happened with the previous owners, majority of their furniture, the previous owners, the
Yeah.
DeFeos, their furniture was just left there, and it was
Right.
included in the sale, and so they just took it as is. In my
Yeah.
opinion, I would put my own. I don't know if they put their own stuff in there and they took out the stuff, but I would do that. But from what I
Right.
read, they just left everything in there.
But could you like? So let's say they moved from an apartment because she was a single mom,
Right.
right? And he's a Marine, so he probably
Right.
doesn't have his place.
Yeah.
So they're like moving into this house that's like 5 times the size that
I
they
don't care.
need.
I would live with no furniture.
But you need to furnish the place.
I don't
It's
care.
a huge house.
If something like that so tragic happened there, I would no. Because of what I know and what I feel, I personally
but
would
you
not
have
let
to,
that happen.
This is the 70s.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
The Exorcist, I don't think came out just yet.
Yeah, it probably wasn't like that well known.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
one thing the family did do, which wasn't very uncommon then, was they did ask a Catholic priest to come and bless the home,
Oh,
which was
okay.
a pretty standard thing to do. They had a Father Ralph Picario to bless, come in and bless the home the
Okay.
day that they were moving in. And while performing the rites, he flicked the first holy water and began to pray. And he heard a masculine voice demand him to get out. And possibly, I don't know if this is true or not. And it's so hard to figure out what's true and what's not because
Right.
there have been so many movies made and so
Right.
many books written. But multiple places said that he felt a slap on his face, but he didn't mention it to anybody.
Interesting.
Before leaving, the priest did say to George, the stepfather, that he had felt something strange felt something strange on my freaking face in the room upstairs. And George assured him that that room was just going to be like a playroom or sewing room and wasn't going to be a bedroom. And he said, "Good, as long as no one sleeps in there."
Interesting that he would know, like, no one, as long as no one sleeps in there.
Yeah. He's like, they're good as long as, because if someone sleeps in there, they get slapped awake. But you know, if they have an alarm clock they don't wake up to, they should probably sleep in there. uh, After the priest left, I did find out so much information on this documentary. So if you guys want to find out more stuff, watch my Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
Daniel, the oldest son, did find a swarm of flies in that
Ew.
room, and he picked up a newspaper
Were
and
they
started killing them.
Oh my god.
But then whenever he looked down, there were no dead flies, and then the newspaper had disappeared. So it was like, what
That's
in
weird.
the world? That's weird. I'm just making sure that's good.
You're good.
So the family noticed an off eerie feeling in the home, and they also noticed that there were lots of cold spots, like 20-degree different cold spots.
I mean, it's a huge house.
It is, and it's in New York and in November, December. So,
Right.
but there was just like a random little cold pocket.
Yeah, that's weird.
So, they also noticed bad odors of smelly, rotten garbage, random sounds during the night, swarms of flies in the winter. Like,
Yeah,
that
that's
happened
weird.
multiple times.
Yeah.
And seeing green slime ooze from the walls.
Ew, Brie.
Yeah. One of the first nights of staying there, George, the stepdad, admitted to not being able to get warm and suspected it was just from it being that time of year. He'd just woken up at 3:15 a.m. to a tapping. Yeah. And he went out to check the boathouse and believed it had come from there. This became a daily occurrence when he'd wake up at that time, and George concluded that the family had been killed around this time, and that's why he had waken up. And this wasn't even like public knowledge that like that was the for sure time.
Yeah, because it was only a year after the murder,
Yeah.
so everything was still under investigation.
Exactly. George also mentioned how he'd been lying in bed and suddenly he would hear like a door slam, and upon investigation, everything would be normal. Even the dog Harry was still asleep, and he also recalled hearing the sound of like a marching band of footsteps coming from downstairs when he'd run down, and whenever he'd run downstairs, there'd be nothing again.
Well, it's just a school band passing
Right.
by.
There it's normal. But there would be a bunch of rolled up rugs, and then the dog would still
What?
be sleeping. And he even recalled saying, "Some watchdog you are." or some watchdog you're turning out to be.
Wait, so the rugs would be rolled up,
From what I got from that was that either they're completely rolled up
or
or
just
they're like picked up like someone's kicking the edge
Right,
of them,
right.
like they're partially rolled,
I could
like they're
see-
walking past them.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what
could
I
s-
got
okay,
from that.
Okay.
Speaking of the dog Harry, poor guy. The garage
Harry.
door had a thing where it would slam shut, open and shut on its own all the time and just go haywire. And one
Jeez.
night the dog was chained up on the fence near the garage, and he started freaking out and tried to jump the fence and like almost hung himself. So, yeah. I think Daniel said that he had gone and gotten the dog. He was
Oh
fine.
my
He lived.
gosh.
He's okay. The dog's okay. Everybody.
That's how one of my parents' dogs died. She hung herself
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
while they were driving in
Oh.
the back of the truck.
Oh
I
no.
know.
Oh
Her
man.
name was Lady.
That was a big fear of mine.
She died on January 1st of 2021.
Oh my god,
No. 2011.
it's almost the anniversary.
Oh, that's right.
Rip lady.
Lady.
I
That
just-
was that same day Dave died.
Who's Dave?
My aunt's husband.
Oh, I'm
I didn't
so
like
sorry.
him.
Oh, okay. It's
He
okay.
ruined Rick and I's first date by dying.
Oh, damn it. I hate when people do that.
I know, it's so rude. My mom texted me, she's like, Dave died. And I was like, "Ugh, I have to go home. I'm not even joking. I was
Oh
so
my
annoyed.
God. You are terrible.
I did not like him. He was the worst. He was awful. I'm not joking.
Dave.
I was seriously freaking Dave. Like he would, sorry, this is a whole tangent. He would like fall asleep during family functions, like on the couch, like during someone opening presents, and I would just go like, Dave!
Gonna be Josh one day.
And he would go, I have a, I have a photo of my aunt. He had to have an oxygen tank,
Oh.
and I have a photo of my aunt pinching it while he was sleeping one time.
Oh my gosh. Poor Dave.
Don't feel bad for him. He was
I
a
feel so
terrible,
bad for
awful
Dave.
human. I lived with my aunt and him, and like I would always have to like run things by him, and like it was just annoying. Like, can I have a friend over? I'm like in my 20s, and he'd be like, oh my gosh, like I just hated him so much. He was just an awful human being. No one in the family liked him.
My God.
I was the only one like
You're like,
brave enough to not
are we
care.
done yet? Brave enough to be honest?
Yeah, I'm like it's like, I don't like you.
Is your mom going to be upset by this?
No,
Okay.
I've told her this. She didn't like him either. I don't care what she says.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
You're good. That's funny.
Yeah, so he ruined our first day. I was so
Damn
mad.
it, Dave. Now we're going to be like, Dave.
Dave. Sorry. Anyways, wow, what a tangent.
We've had lots of those. It's a good episode. All right. So, everyone, with being in this house, everyone was starting to be affected by it. George began to seclude himself from everyone and obsessed over the fireplace, like kept it constantly burning because he just couldn't get warm.
That's really sad.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
right? Kathy, the mother, admitted to experiencing feeling of feeling of being touched just like within the first couple days. Like she felt her hand touch, and then
Ew.
like she felt being like embraced behind her back once and just like
Oh, but I
grabbed.
kind of like that. Like, was it a hug?
But yeah, like she also said that
Like,
she
yeah.
would smell like old lady perfume, and she said that like, and somewhere I found that she said that she'd felt like she was like calm in the house and like trance, like everybody was in trance almost.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So the children, so that's where the whole like, where how did their bodies get held down? Maybe everybody was in a trance or like just calm in
Yeah.
the house, and like that's where that little thing goes
Yeah.
into. The children were arguing more than usual. Everybody's getting angry. Missy the youngest daughter, would describe talking to an angel that was in her room named Jody, who was a pig and would reveal itself to anyone at her will, or would only reveal itself to anyone at her will. George,
Pig?
yeah, George and Daniel had believed to have seen Jody, describing it as a cartoon pig-like creature with two laser red eyes coming from the upstairs bedroom window, and Missy believed that it was Jody wanting to come in. I'm like, nope. That's like the sign like of a demon. The red
The red
laser eyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking like a robot.
No, it's like a demon. It's like,
And a pig, too.
yeah.
Like
Well,
a swine.
I did see somewhere else that she had said it could change into whatever it wanted.
You
Two,
breathe. So you
so-
choose a pig?
Yeah, right? Or a child. I don't know. So I'll get back to that.
Okay.
There was a rocking chair also in Missy's room that would go haywire, and whenever it was searched, there were no explanations found. Like there was nothing underneath it. No one was messing with it. The floor wouldn't rock when they jumped around it. When the family would have company over, they'd sit in the kitchen, and because they never wanted to leave the house for some reason, but they always wanted people to come over, and they'd want people to sit like experience what they experienced just to have proof. And so they'd sit in the kitchen, and everybody would hear people walking around upstairs, but the kids were asleep, and they were like dead asleep. So they had other people that would hear things.
Okay. I can
Um,
understand wanting someone.
Yeah, just like come see the shit.
Tell us
hold
we're
my
not
beer.
crazy. Yeah.
It has also been told that hoof prints have been seen in the snow on January 1st of 1976.
From ponies.
Right, exactly, from Jody.
Unicorns.
But I'm not sure about that because I think it was in one of the book. I didn't have time to read the book, unfortunately, but I think
Yeah.
it was in one of the books. It's not been confirmed, so
Is it the book that I mentioned?
yes.
Okay.
Jay Anson?
No.
I don't know. I think it's by Jay Anson or something. Things around the house were often moved. Like a statue was
What?
also moved. They had mentioned. I had heard that in the documentary. Like there was like a lion statue or something of a lion, and it was just like, who put this here? Like who would move a statue? Like there's just
Sorry.
a random lion statue. I will say though, at my grandma's, she has this like wooden water buffalo that I move around her house every single time I come over. I'll put him in a new random spot. His name is Jehobico. So
But that's on a statue, Brie.
yeah, right. It's a figure, like
Yeah, a
big
little
figure.
figurine. Yeah.
It's big, but you know, a Barbie could ride on him, so you know, whatever.
Yeah.
He'd like it. One night after Christmas, the family smelled a terrible stench, so they began to open windows in him to try to air out the house. While in one of the upstairs rooms, the window slammed shut on Daniel's fingers, crushing them completely skin to skin flat.
Oh my
No one could get
gosh.
it open. Like everyone was just, he was just sitting there with his
How
fingers
old
in the
Daniel
window.
was one of the kids.
Yeah, I think he was 7. I think he said he was 7.
Oh, baby
So he's just sitting there with the
boy,
window on his fingers. Yeah.
screaming.
And no one can get it open. And finally, they did once they pretty much stopped trying. When his mother
Why
took
would you
him,
stop trying? though?
because they were trying to think like, what do we do? And
Maybe
then,
let go.
like they were able to open.
Okay.
After that, the mother, Kathy, took him into the kitchen and to put some ice on them. Although that's not going to do crap. But
I was
he
just-
said they
yeah.
swelled like 3 times their size.
My
Um,
gosh.
So she took him into the kitchen, put some ice on him, and whenever she was going to do that, the door to the kitchen opened, and they saw what they believed was a spirit come in, and it went through his mother and then through his hands, and he said it knocked like a butter knife off the counter onto the floor. But like while this was happening, they're still trying to address his freaking flat fingers.
Right.
So they continued to do that, and she placed ice on his fingers and then removed it, and everything was back to normal.
What? Even his hands?
Yeah, everything was completely back to normal, like nothing had ever happened.
What the heck?
But he does have like a little hook in his finger, like his pinky. He said, because he showed him in the documentary, and one hand's normal, and then his pinky's got like a little hook into it. And he's like, my pinky's never been the same since that. He's like, that happened because of that.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Leon doing a treat?
Daniel, sorry, I talk about him a lot because of the documentary I
That's
watched.
okay.
He gave a lot of good information,
Yeah.
and the other two haven't really come out with a lot. Daniel believed he and George were often possessed. One night after a fight with George, Daniel went upstairs and described being projected up the stairs and thrown like into a wall. Then he stood there feeling something enter him and take over for a minute, which his mother was there and she witnessed it.
Wow.
Also, while cleaning, Kathy, the mother, found a hidden room that was painted red behind a bookcase that wasn't shown in the first, seeing the house or in the blueprints.
Wow.
The 28th and the last night, or the 28th night and the last night that they stayed there, because they only lasted 28 days.
I don't blame him.
Daniel had said that he and his brother shared levitation experiences, headboards bumping into each other and into the ceiling. George, the stepfather, stated, I was lying in bed and everyone was asleep. Kathy lifts up off the bed and starts to slide away from the bed and away from me. I feel something
What?
get into the bed with us. I'm unable to move. I hear the kids' beds continually slamming up and down on the floor and being dragged. He also said that when Kathy had woken up that night, she would like morphed into like this old hag
Ew.
and completely changed, and it didn't dissipate for like hours. That night, the family fled the house, not packing any bags, changing any clothes, leaving behind all their belongings in the middle of the night, and went to Kathy's mother's home.
But does Kathy remember any of that?
I mean,
Morphine?
yes, because she was awake whenever it was still going on. She like it was her whole face that looked
She's
like
like,
a hag.
"What's
She looked in the
going
mirror
on
and she
with
saw like,
me?"
yeah, I'm so ugly.
Such a Mother Gothel situation.
They foreclosed on the home and moved to California, not looking back.
Wow.
So, after this all happened, obviously word got out. Amityville was one of the first major cases to get to, or that Ed and Lorraine Warren
Wow, that's cool
got
for
their
them.
name out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done cases before this, but this one got their name really out there. They were 2 of the 9 people who investigated it. Ed and Lorraine were called by Father Picario and the family to investigate, being recommended by like a local reporter. When they first came to the home, Lorraine was very cautious. And she was even in the documentary too. Like he went to her house and talked to her too, and they like
Really?
prayed or whatever, and it
Oh,
was really
I
cool.
love
She was so
that.
cute.
She died, right?
Yes, she just died like a year ago or so, or
Recently.
yeah. So they wanted her to go up to the second floor because that's where a lot of the stuff was happening, and she described the feeling of a powerful force against her like a waterfall, making her feel something was inhuman in the house.
Oh my gosh.
She said it was the closest thing she'd ever come, or closest she'd ever come to hell that she'd ever want to go.
I wonder
And
if she still feels that way.
she made it seem that way in the documentary because
Okay.
it was just a year or two ago. So,
Yeah.
and I know it was just a movie in The Conjuring, but I'm pretty sure that was the case that she was super scarred from in The Conjuring, and Ed got pretty scarred from it too.
Okay.
Speaking of Ed, he went into the basement and he started like provoking and demanded for whatever it was to reveal itself. And immediately something forced, he said he'd never gotten a response so quick. And he said something forced him down to the floor and he wasn't the same since.
Oh my gosh.
They performed a seance and ended up not contacting anything on the other side. But many reported feeling ill, including the cameraman who at the second floor grabbed his chest and brought him down to the ground. He was okay.
Good.
They felt there was a demonic presence in the home and but it wasn't something that was regarding the trauma in the home. While it was traumatic, like I said, there was past things that had happened there. So
Yeah.
while the investigators and reporters were in the home, one of the most famous pictures in paranormal investigative history was taken. after developed, a little boy with glowing eyes like
Start
a
over.
flash was on.
After
Sorry.
develop. Say
What?
Say start over at the after developed.
Okay. After developed, a little boy with glowing eyes like kind of like the flash was on
Okay, yeah.
was
yeah.
seen peeking at the bottom banister of the stairs.
I saw that photo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So
that was like
creepy.
one of the most famous like pictures that like nobody can debunk. Like it wasn't tampered
Right.
with. They can't find out what happened. And there were multiple like probably I think there was like 10 people in there, and there were no children in there, and many
Did
witnesses.
everyone see it, or was it only
It
when
was
the
just
picture was taken?
only when the picture was taken that they saw
Ew.
it. And the boy looked identical to John DeFeo, the little boy that was
Right.
shot, John Matthew. When all said and done, the home was exorcised and cleansed, and it hasn't given any further problems.
So it went through a cleansing, a
Yes,
juice
a very
cleanse,
big, yes,
and
yeah.
exercised a while.
Yeah, I don't know. That makes me more
Everyday
mad when I go
fitness.
through Drew's cleanse. So for the skeptics, because we all got to have skeptics out there. I'm a little bit of one sometimes.
Right.
This is a true crime paranormal podcast. However, we're going to throw out all the deets out there.
Okay.
This part isn't exactly skeptic, but it's just a little tidbit of info. There was the possibility of George Lutz dabbling in the occult.
Okay.
Many people said so, and there were lots of rumors. Even Daniel on the documentary admitted to finding some books in
Oh my
his home
gosh.
that were like satanic and Buddhist. Not that Buddhist is that, but like just different like
Right.
mind control and stuff like that. Just all these
He
kinds
was
of
like
genres.
really trying to control
Yeah.
that family, wasn't he?
Well, I mean, maybe I don't know.
Or maybe he was just trying to start a podcast.
He
About
did it.
cults.
Well, he got a book and 28 movies out of it.
Did he really? The dad did?
Well, I mean, they didn't really bang from it. It is believed that he either tried provoking something or just his energy being there and whatever it
Yeah.
was, knowing that he was there, stirred something up in the house.
Right.
Which could explain why no one else which could explain why no one else who had moved there afterwards didn't really have any issues.
Oh, okay.
Also-
So people have moved in since
Yes, multiple.
then. Interesting.
And also psychics have mentioned the feeling of dark magic being performed, which goes back to the whole warlock thing
Right.
in the home and possibly him. And now this part's officially for the skeptics. There are
Everyone else
so
book
many
yours.
people that believe there are so many people that believe that this is a hoax. That the family did this for publicity or money.
Okay.
Not a bad theory and could possibly be, but
Sure.
their financial situation didn't benefit from this. Like they didn't want this known as public knowledge. They tried to move away from this as far as possible.
Okay.
They wanted this out of their lives. At least the mother and the kids did. From what Daniel made it sound like, the stepdad would introduce himself as, "I'm the Amityville guy."
Oh.
Yeah, he hated him. He talked a lot about things about him. It was very cringy whenever he would get mad about him. He's like, "I'm glad he's dead." And I'm like, "Whoa, calm down there,
Ooh.
buddy."
Yeah.
But anyway, it didn't put them in any better financial situation, and they were only there for like a month, so it's not like they banked on the house selling or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
But they did get 28 movies and many books out of it. So, but they didn't get any financial gain from it. He's a UPS driver.
Oh.
Not that
okay.
that's bad.
No. You
So.
actually can make quite a bit of money off of that.
Yeah. But he has a job. Like he doesn't
He's
like
not living off
live-
of this money.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Like- yeah. And to further prove the innocence of George and Kathy, they've taken lie detector tests and passed them, which we have talked about. Those aren't
Right.
guaranteed, but they did it. So
yeah.
like they're willing to do that. My thing is like if someone's willing to do that, that proves even more.
Yeah, unless
like
you're
you
a
willing-
narcissist.
Right. If you're
Yeah.
willing to take a test, like, yeah, I'll pass it. Cool.
Yeah.
So today, the Amityville house still sits and hasn't sparked up any known issues and any other owners, and is now listed at the address of 108 Ocean Avenue to deter the public, which I just told
Sure.
everybody. It
All of
last
our
sold
one
in
listener,
right.
my mom.
It last sold in February of 2017, I believe, for 605,000.
Dang.
Yeah, that's a span.
So it's
I mean,
still a
it's a
house. I'm surprised someone hasn't turned it into like an Airbnb.
there's
or
nothing that goes on
something.
there though.
That's true.
Like nothing. It's clean.
But the
So
thing
many
is
families
that
have lived there.
there's movies,
Right. It's
like
famous.
blockbuster movies. So
But
I
it's
would.
in a suburb. Yeah, like I would nowadays. I am surprised that someone hasn't turned it into Airbnb, and I guarantee you, the next person that lives there
I'm sure
is
they
going to
would.
be Zach Bagans.
You think so?
No,
Oh,
there was no no one. I was like, ooh, has this been on Ghost Avengers? No, because it's a
Really?
residential home. Like, who's gonna go in there? And nothing's happening in it. So of course he's not gonna go there if there's nothing going on in it. But that was the Amityville, the full
Wow.
story, true crime and paranormal, guys.
Yeah, that was so cool.
You're
Brie.
welcome. Happy 2023.
Yay, us.
Yay.
I have a neighborhood story for you somewhere.
For the Patreon donors, you can see that Leon is using the neighborhood stories as a bed.
I'm sorry.
Just whip it out really fast like a tablecloth. There you go. It's okay, baby. Lay down. Oh, he's so handsome.
They need to be groomed so bad. They're shedding so bad.
He's so handsome, though. He's baby boy.
All right, so this one is from next door. It says, "Beware of kid meals at McDonald's. I thought I would try a Happy Meal to see why kids love it. I started choking and coughing, but couldn't figure out why. When just a hamburger meal I was having. Inside, a bitter pickle and 2 tablespoons of chopped white onions. I'm allergic to onions and pickles, specifically any kind of onions. And the french fries have a lot of salt and pepper on them. Thank
Pepper?
God. I know, that's what I thought. Thank God I have Galvatin tablets that stop the allergic reaction to everything.
Oh my God.
So I guess the hamburger Happy Meal is not just a hamburger anymore. I have known what is inside the hamburger. So beware of what is in kids' meals can be bad, even for adults." Did Alice write that?
Do you not know what's on a hamburger at McDonald's?
Dude.
I mean, I worked at McDonald's, but it doesn't take a genius to know that pickles and onions are on a hamburger.
Okay. All right.
They just come with them. Like they don't take out those things because they're kids. Not all kids are picky. They're just gonna eat it. And then like pepper, they don't put. I promise you guys, McDonald's does not have a giant container of pepper unless it's in the grill area, and that is to put on burgers. It is way too far from the fry station. They just use salt and is automatic thing that goes down, and it puts an equal amount of salt on it.
Alice, when she orders a McDonald's Happy Meal, she orders a hamburger, no pickles, no onions.
I do know pickles for Nap.
She does not like those, and it's so funny.
But she knows that they come with pickles and onions.
Knows. She had it one time, and she knows. But also, like, I don't know. Like, if you if you knew you had allergies,
yeah, you should ask. If it's and if it's that bad of an allergy, a pill is not going to fix it. First of all, a pill is not going to fix your deathly allergy of onions. You have to go to the hospital
onions.
or give yourself a freaking epinephrine shot.
What an awful life to live if you're allergic to onion or pickles, like
or onions. I love onions, man.
Onions are
They're
really
in
good.
everything.
But I would be okay with not living with onions, but I would be really sad not to live with pickles.
No, I love onions, but they make me gassy. Sorry.
Oh, there you go, you guys. Patreon.
Send me some
Leon?
onions.
No,
Oh, yeah.
Leon started doing his
Oh, did he do his...
his
Neck
phantom
stretches?
hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna get
Happy
checking
New
on your
Year.
neighbors. Yeah.
Join our Patreon, guys,
Yeah.
to
It's
see fun,
super
exclusive
dope.
things. And we're...
Oh, look at that.
My mom used to call that
Leon.
cat porn.
This is what's with the neighbors
Whoa,
after dark.
there's a reason why
Leon.
why this is explicit content. Leon, come down there, buddy.
Anyways, have you checked on the neighbors?
What's with the neighbors?
Brain Amy
Oh.
out. I wish Tony was here so he could ask. Tony, do you want a treat? Leon, do you want a treat?
Say hi to cats for us.
Do you want a treat? Oh yeah, say hi to your cats for us. Do you want a treat? He's not gonna do it. Tony would.
He's like, what the hell are you doing to me?
Stop shaking me. Shaking kitty syndrome.
Shaking kitty syndrome.